What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Pleeka podcast. I'm Jerome. With me, as always, is Hess. Today, we'll be talking about Reservoir Dogs as we start our journey with the Quentin Tarantino movies. Is that what we want to do? Do we we'll clarify that right now? Do we want to do just the movies he's directed, or do everything he's written and directed? How do we want to do it?
I mean, either way is fine.
And
True Romance sounds interesting to me.
Mm-hmm. That's got Brad Pitt in it, right?
It's got a bunch like Christopher Walken, Brad Pitt.
I don't think I've ever.
I
seen that.
was looking at it. I know I haven't. So if I have, I don't remember. So
I guess we'll see if it's good.
We'll see, bitch. But yeah, it would be interesting to do that. But if that is the case, there is one that we said we would skip.
Yeah, we agreed, which is, it's funny timing. It's coming out on Steelbook 4K if you want to get a copy. Natural Born Killers, we're not going to do. We're skipping that.
Wow.
Fuck that. No, we watched that. We did a podcast on that already. We've done a podcast on a bunch of Quentin Tarantino movies already, really. But
no, we did. We've
never gone through them all.
We've done Hateful Eight. I remember for sure.
We've done Django. We've done...
I know we did Hateful Eight.
There's something... Maybe I'm just thinking about Natural Born Killers. But yeah, we've done a couple of those. There was a time where that's like all we fucking talked about for weeks with some of his podcasts.
Shut up! Yeah.
But I really liked Pulp Fiction. And not Pulp Fiction. I mean, I do like
Pulp Fiction.
Did.
You watched Pulp Fiction.
I watched Pulp Fiction instead. Fuck. But
I liked Pulp Fiction.
I've only ever seen Reservoir Dogs all the way through like 2 or 3 times now.
Oh.
But I've seen, the ear scene where he goes in there, he cuts off the dude's ear, he's stuck in the middle with you, all that.
Oh, yeah.
I've seen that part like 812 times because Nick would always call me out to the living room when he was watching this movie. And I would, reenact cutting the dude's ear off, and I would dance with him and do all the things from the movie every time, and then I would just leave after that. So, that was the only part of the movie I saw for years until, 5 or 6 years ago I watched it for the first time all the way through.
Yeah.
But...
Sorry. Just waking up. Took a little nap when I got home.
You need a little Red Bull like I got.
No.
You could bubble chug it. It'll feel real good.
There you go. What was I gonna say? It had been a while. To the point where I didn't fully remember everything and how everything went down.
Oh yeah, did you know he was gonna be a cop in the end and all that? Did you remember?
No,
that?
I'd forgotten that.
I'd
forgotten that.
I forgot that too, because at the end when he said that, I was like, oh motherfucker, he was a cop the whole time. Okay.
Yeah.
I did think. Did you think? And it's probably because they may not have had time. This was an indie. It's like Quentin's first movie. All this shit, whatever the excuses are. But sometimes some of the acting, I feel like, especially with Steve Buscemi, and I don't know the older guy's name, but the guy who was taking care of the cop the whole time.
Mr. Harvey Keitel. I think.
Yeah, Mr. White. Yeah. I felt, which they're great actors, but I felt like a lot of the times early on in this movie, they were not that great, and it was kind of throwing me off a little bit. I feel like their acting was a little weird, but it just felt like they didn't know the material. They felt like it was rushed because of the movie. I felt like they could have done a better job because they do even later in the movie. But sometimes it was a little off.
I don't know. I think the whole thing is a little different just for the simple fact that it came out in 1992.
Yeah. No, that's part of it too, yeah.
Over 30 years ago this thing came out. So
it's a cheap movie that was made 30 years ago, yeah.
Yeah.
But even then, for even some of that, it's still better than most things anybody could ever do. You know what I mean? For it being his first, it's pretty crazy for his first movie, a lot of this stuff. It's that's pretty crazy how great he already had his, style down and stuff like that,
Yeah, I obviously liked it. It's just weird. I don't know. It totally seemed weird. It was like a heavy dialogue movie.
Yeah. It was also a heavy N-word movie, too, which completely threw me by... I know he likes to throw those around in his movies.
Yeah.
But they use that a lot in this movie. That was really
Well,
threw me
being that
off.
I don't remember seeing a black person. I was like,
Yeah, not one in the movie. Not
okay.
only white dudes actually.
I
Yeah.
was like, whoa. I'm
No,
like,
because
all right.
and it wasn't even like they said it once and they moved it. There was like multiple times a sentence and then like references
Yeah.
back to it, and it was a bit much.
Yeah. I'm looking up something here real quick. The
Mm-hmm.
the one dude, and Abby actually brought it up.
Mm-hmm.
And I go, oh fuck, I go, you're totally spot on. The what's his name? The nice guy Eddie, the guy who's putting it on, Joe, his son.
Oh, mm-hmm.
He's played by Chris Penn.
I don't know who that is.
He's a dude in like the tracksuit at the end who like
Oh, okay,
shoots
that
the
guy. Yeah, yeah, okay,
yeah.
okay.
He's like he reminds me of like Seth Rogen. He's like a guy like Seth or
Oh, I could
not
totally see. Oh,
not Seth
not Seth
Jonah
Rogen.
Hill Jonah Hill
Oh,
Jonah
I
Hill
could totally. I see that way more, but I
yeah
could see Seth
Jonah
Rogen too.
Hill
But Jonah Hill, especially
yeah
like Jonah Hill, this is the end, like kind of style in
yeah
there.
just like
hundred
goofy.
percent.
That dude died in 2006. He was only 40 years old.
Oh, really?
Because I was like looking him up because I'm going fuck. I'm like he's been in other shit that I've seen. I'm
Yeah.
like
No,
what is
yeah.
he?
I was thinking the same thing watching it. I was like, I know I've seen this guy in a couple other things, but I
But
couldn't name one thing.
he died in 2006. He was in the original Footloose. He's in True
Oh.
Romance.
Oh, well, that's cool. We'll get to see him
So
again.
we will get to see him again. I mean, he was in like 2004 Starsky and Hutch.
Oh, wow. That's interesting. Was he
Uh,
like the bad guy in that or something?
I don't know. It just says Manetti. I don't know who
Manetti.
Manetti is.
I don't see a picture of him that.
But I still don't know. He was in Corky Romano.
I've never even heard of that.
Yeah, you have. If you look up
Click
if
up Corky
you
Romano. Let me
look
see.
up Corky Romano, Corky, and then Romano. He was in Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. Corky Romano is I feel like that's a movie you
Oh,
would like.
yeah.
You would be
No,
like, oh yeah.
you're right. I've definitely heard of this. Yeah, I just didn't know that's what it was called.
But yeah, I don't know what else I don't know why he looks so familiar.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Is he in anything like
it,
as a kid, like when he's really young or anything?
I don't know. It looks like his catalog starts in 1979.
Hmm.
And that's Charlie and the Talking Buzzard.
Oh, I guess we'll have to watch that next.
He was in an episode of Magnum PI. Like I said, Footloose. Maybe I'm remembering him from Footloose.
That'd be kind
He
of
was in
funny.
Kenny Loggins' Footloose version 2 music video too.
Oh shit! So maybe he's a good dancer.
But yeah, and it was funny because like we paused it. I'm like, I'm gonna look this guy up. I'm like, he looks so fucking familiar. And I'm like, fuck, this guy died in 2006. I'm like, I
That's
have no
crazy. Yeah, I
idea.
didn't even know about that.
And then like Harvey Keitel is 84. He's fucking still alive.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, most of these people have to be dead. I mean, I know Buscemi's not.
And Steve Buscemi's gone.
Mike Madsen's not dead. I don't think. Mike Madsen in this movie, he reminded me of. Hold on, I want to look it up.
In this movie, he's related to John Travolta's character in Pulp Fiction. He's like his cousin or brother or something. Right?
That's a note. That's a note that I wrote down. Matthew Perry. He reminds me of Matthew Perry. I think he looks a lot like Matthew Perry.
I get that.
Like big time. Because like there's.
I like your like cast of Quentin Tarantino movies. That's kind of fun. I want to see those versions of the movies. That'd be really cool.
We'll have Jonah Hill as what's his face, Nice Guy Eddie, and we'll have somebody from Friends.
Oh, Matthew Perry. Yeah,
Matthew Perry as Mr. Blonde. Yeah, and it's
great.
also funny. It's also funny too that the idea of the colors was stole from another movie earlier.
Was it?
Yeah, it was. I looked up. I was like bored at work today because it was a slow fucking day. So I like did some research and I was like, oh shit. But yeah, it was from. I'll have to find it, but it's like something Pelham and the train station or something.
Is that like another heist movie or something like that? That like
I think it was. It was like.
Were you disappointed ever that you don't get to see the heist in this movie?
No. It's funny. I was not really disappointed. I mean, I guess to a certain degree, but at the same time, I don't know. It's also like I read that that's what he intended. Like he wanted
Yeah,
it to be like he did it intentionally. He also did it to keep the budget down.
that makes sense.
So
Well, it's kind of fun with it too, because like you just get to hear like each person's kind of description of it a little bit, like the way they perceived all the events. So then it kind of
right,
it makes you wonder the whole time, like which one of these bad guys is actually describing this right. So it's kind of fun.
it,
It's a cool way to keep it cheap for him. That also like helps the story.
yeah. And then I thought it was interesting. We never really got Buscemi's backstory. You know how they like cut and
Oh
talk.
yeah, yeah. We
I
didn't get
I I,
Mr. Pink, huh?
I don't know why we didn't get a Mr. Pink. I mean, the other guys
Yeah,
that died, I get why we didn't get, but like,
yeah,
I wonder why we didn't get a Mr. Pink
yeah. That's interesting.
how backstory. I don't know. Maybe I wasn't. I mean, I didn't fall asleep. I paid full attention.
Me
So
and you both just fell asleep right at the Mr. Pink parts.
yeah, yeah.
So do you have a favorite part of this movie
I don't know. I kind of like the opening scene,
with the like a
where they're
virgin?
just sitting at the little fucking at the diner table.
I like too how Steve Buscemi goes on the whole rant, and then is it Tim Roth or whatever is like, actually he changed my mind, give me my dollar back. Like he
Yeah,
actually persuaded him and shit.
yeah. It's because I mean it's still there's people that believe that to this day that
Yeah.
that the tipping system is broken and we shouldn't be tipping. But
Mm-hmm.
the shitty thing is that some of the, like I mean I know back then it was mostly women doing it, but I mean now there's like men waiters and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I do believe they make like a little bit more money, but they don't make a lot an hour. So
It is so
um,
weird though. I liked how they brought that up too though, where it's like it's so funny the jobs we decide that you tip to and the jobs we decide you don't tip to.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
it makes it kind of funny. Why isn't it just all or nothing?
I know. Well, it's heading towards all or nothing now. Because I mean,
Mm-hmm.
anywhere you go,
I guess true. There's like a tip
like with the
option.
like, yeah, with like if you go to, I don't know, have you ever had Black Rock coffee?
No, but
I mean,
I know
if you
I know there's
pay,
yeah, in some coffee shops they have like those
yeah,
tablets and they're like, hey, you want to tip whatever
yeah,
percent or whatever.
anything with a, yeah,
But it is kind of weird too to imagine that, because like imagine you go to Walmart and someone like they do your groceries, they do all this shit, and then you're like, oh, here's a little tip at Walmart. Like
well, I mean,
that's
and
where it gets a little weird, but also like they are doing work too.
yeah, but I mean, is that their job?
Yeah,
Like,
no,
are
that's
they
where it
just
gets
doing
weird.
their
Like, do
job?
you tip the
But I mean,
bagger
like
for doing
someone
his
at
job or
Walmart,
what?
I obviously have no idea how much you make. You're starting at Walmart nowadays, but
Yeah.
I mean, like they were saying in this movie. I mean, they were, you know, someone who's like a waiter, they don't make a lot. I mean, it's
Mm-hmm.
less than minimum wage because they get tips. So
I guess that's where it gets messy too, is because like then it goes to the like the establishment that can't make much, like the little businesses. That's where they rely on tips for people. So 'cause, like
right,
they can't pay. So I guess that's where it gets messy too.
it is it's a very interesting scene, and I enjoy it very much. So
Yeah, no, it's really
uh,
that's the thing I love about Quentin Tarantino's movies is just those little conversations, and then like all of a sudden
yeah,
there's like a shootout 25 minutes later in the movie, and everybody that was having a
yeah.
good conversation there's dead. Like
It
it's
was
just
kind
so
of
wild.
it was different. It was a very different type of movie.
Yeah, especially after
So
watching 8 Harry Potter movies, like 8 children's movies, and then going into this where the
basically,
opening's
yes.
talking about someone getting fucked by a big dick.
So it says right here, it says the crew that puts together the robbery in the film doesn't use their actual names. Instead, they are referenced by colors such as Mr. Pink, Mr. Blonde, Mr. Green. This is directly lifted from the original, The Taking of Pelham 123, where the criminals do the same thing.
Oh, that's very funny.
So I don't know. I meant to look this up earlier.
That's funny too, because I
Um,
guarantee now there's been movies that have ripped it off, like doing Mr. White or Mr. Pink and all that because of Reservoir Dogs. So now it's like a reference on a reference on a reference, you know?
yeah,
It's funny how that ends
yeah.
up happening, but that's really cool. I like that.
That is from a 1974 thriller action movie
Interesting.
starring Walter Matthau, Jerry Stiller, Robert Shaw, Martin Balsam.
Hmm.
Yeah. So it's an armed man hijack a subway car and demand a ransom. So yeah, I wonder if at the end, literally everyone gets killed.
Yeah.
This is what I wanted to happen in Game
Yeah, I
of
was gonna,
Thrones.
yeah, this one made you happy. You wanted them all to aim guns at each other, cut an ear off, and then fucking just shoot and take diamonds and run.
Yeah, it was pretty brutal.
Don't point that gun at my fucking dad, and then they all just.
Yeah, yeah, It was.
It's so sad too, but I love it after that shootout part. They're all falling down, and then he's just, I'm a cop,
Yeah,
and then he just wants to shoot him in the head.
Yeah, because it was like,
yeah, well, I got fucking shot for you.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and like, how shitty is that? Like, dude, I mean, like, literally everyone dies. Buscemi gets tracked down when he runs out.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Or you assume, but yeah, it's like, fuck, everybody died.
Yeah, they just like.
And I want to know how Tarantino's character, Mr. Brown or whatever, how is he driving with a bullet wound to his forehead?
I was wondering the same fucking thing. That was so confusing to me.
I was like,
he's just
what's going on?
And then he didn't die until they crashed the car, and then they're like, oh, he's dead. But I'm like, he got shot in the forehead. What are you talking about? He should have been dead a while ago. That was
like,
so confusing.
What the fuck? I'm like, this is weird.
What about that random ass lady that had a gun when they went to steal her car, and then she shoots?
Yeah, that killed Tim Roth.
Which they said, Mr. White said that it was his fault that he got shot. How was that his fault?
I don't know. Because I guess he.
I was confused.
Oh well, he walked down the street and pointed the gun at the car, like, we need your car.
So then she saw his gun and shot him.
I think he just took responsibility for it, because I mean it was kind of his fault.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, seeing it that way. Yeah. I really like, too, in this movie how much this is, like, the start of him, like, an out-of-order story, like a non-linear story, where, like, it starts with him holding his hand in the car, and then, like, you kind of get the story leading back up to that moment almost, and then it goes back to them in the warehouse. It's, like, almost keeps you interested, because, like, by the time you get bored with the storyline, all of a sudden now you're seeing a prequel to it, and then now you're back to the story. I feel like that's such a fun way to do a movie.
And it wasn't hard to follow. Like, I feel like some movies are when they do, like, their flashbacks. It wasn't
like a Westworld or something where you're like, am I watching the future or the past, or am I watching now?
That's what it was funny, because, like, after the movie, Abby even goes, she goes, did you enjoy it? And I go, yeah. She goes, I thought you didn't like it when they do all this flashback shit. And I go,
like,
this was easy to follow.
When I understand it, I can like it.
I was like, this was pretty easy to follow. I'm like, it was like clear cuts, and like it faded to black screen, and then it was
gave you title cards. I really liked the guy doing he like didn't give a shit about anything. Oh my god, we're doing whatever. Like,
the 70s.
Yeah, narrating, and then it was the guy introing the music when he was gonna torture the cop and all that. But I liked that like in between.
That was like a famous person that did that. That read that.
It was just I felt like that was like it was really fun in there. And then when you get to like the reveal that it is from the music, you're like, oh, cool.
Yeah. Right here, he's a stand-up dude, a stand-up comedian. Stephen Wright that's who that is.
Oh wow, I didn't know. It
says it says Tarantino makes use of his I don't know how to say that word. It says some of the music comes from sources within the film. This includes radios tuned into K-Billy's sounds of the 70s. We hear the DJ do their patter here and there, and you might know the voice. The DJ is none other than stand-up Stephen Wright.
Interesting. I like that.
So, yeah.
You know what I was disappointed about in the movie? Is that we almost got the cop to catch on fire, and it would have been a good "you burnt" moment, but he got shot and stopped.
You burnt!
It was a good shooting him, like, catch him off guard moment, but that would have also been pretty crazy to see that cop get lit on fire.
It would have been.
Yeah, because it's such a gnarly little torture scene where he's just like, I don't care what information you have. I'm just going to hurt you because I have fun hurting you.
Well, it's so funny because like when Tim Roth or whatever, Mr. Orange shoots Mr. White or whoever, he's like, I'm a cop. He's like, I know.
Yeah. After all that, you're like, wow, you fucking went through all that.
I'm like, this guy, he cut your fucking ear off.
And you thought he was probably dead on the floor over there.
Over you. I'm like, Jesus Christ! I would have been like, it's him. He was the fucking cop.
Yeah, honestly, if I thought the guy who was like in on it was dead on the floor over there, and a dude's
Yeah.
cutting my face and gonna cut my ear off, pouring gasoline on me, I'm like, it's him. That guy right there. That's your fucking
Yeah.
man. Get him,
Dude.
please.
I'm like, oh. But here's the thing. I'm pretty. They were gonna kill him no matter what.
Yeah, yeah. But at least maybe then, if you would have told him the guy, maybe he would have been angry and meant to torture him, and then maybe you could get out of your seat. It gives you some hope.
Because they were gonna kill him no matter what. Like they like he saw their faces, so it was like there's no
that's a good
way.
moment too when he's like, "Oh, you mean this fucking cop?" and just straight up shoots him. That guy, that one right there.
Yeah.
No, yeah. This one is such a fun. This is one of his movies that like I barely ever go back to, but I feel like I should watch this one more. I really like this one.
One thing I while doing research, one thing I found interesting, I thought you would actually like.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you saw this either, but it says the violence of Reservoir Dogs can get pretty grim. Even one of the most upsetting things happens just off screen. This led to walkouts in the movie theaters.
Oh, really?
It says included a perpetrated 15 at a screening at the Sitges Film Festival. It says 2 of the people who walked out allegedly were Rick Baker and Wes Craven.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Shut up, yeah.
Wow.
So it says who are known for their work in horror movies. It said that could be Tarantino embellishing for the sake of telling a story, but we do believe there were definitely plenty of walkouts.
That is interesting.
So yeah, I saw that and I go, I definitely have to bring that up for Jerome.
Yeah, wow.
I don't know who Rick Baker
is.
I'm assuming you know who Rick Baker is. I don't.
I feel like I should. That sounds really. I think that's like. He's a special effects artist. Okay.
Okay.
Which also it seems so unlikely to be true, but also like, why would he lie about that?
Right.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah, I don't know.
So they're kind of little bitches. I gotta say.
Speaking of Wes Craven, I always get Wes Craven and Wes Anderson mixed up.
Oh my God! Couldn't be more different people.
Yeah. Well, because like, what is that new one that's out right now or coming out?
Yeah, Asteroid City.
Yeah, because I'm like, I thought this guy did horror movies, and then I was like, I like looked it up. I'm like, oh, that's Wes Craven. I was like,
that's so funny.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So yeah, so I have a Jerome, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, and what's his face?
That's a good one. That's a pretty crazy one to mix up with them. But I guess so is
mine isn't faces. It's just
that's
the
true.
name.
The names, yeah. Yours makes more sense to mix up. I feel like mine's just stupid.
Because I don't know what either Wes Craven or Wes Anderson looks like. They could be in here right in this room right now with me, and I'll be like, I don't know who either of you are.
That's pretty funny.
You'd be like, that's Wes Craven.
We should play like a direct.
Yes, Wes Craven is in your room.
He's back from the dead. Holy shit!
There you go. He's dead. Didn't even know that.
He died like 10 years ago at this point now, I think.
Oh, wow.
It'd be fun to do like a director trivia game with you. Just because I know you'd know nothing, but it'd be pretty funny just to see the people you mixed up, like if you had to answer.
It would be. I mean, I don't know. I don't know a lot, but I mean, I don't know. I feel like the more we watch movies, I mean, obviously we're watching all Tarantino films, but it'll be interesting. Maybe we'll play next week. See if I know who directed the next one.
That is kind of funny though. The next one we're watching is. Do you know who directed the next one? True Romance?
I looked it up, but I do not remember. I can tell you here.
Because I'm pretty sure also True Romance is part of the story of Natural Born Killers.
It is weird.
It's from the same script that is.
It's just weird to see.
So different. I think.
Like to think of his movies as like a huge universe.
I know.
What was I?
Tony Scott is the director.
Yeah, there you go.
What
right there. Yep. So, do you know what it's about or no?
I do not. I could read the...
So, it just says, in Detroit, a lonely pop culture geek marries a call girl, steals cocaine from her pimp, and then tries to sell it in Hollywood. Meanwhile, the owners of the cocaine, the mob, track them down and attempt to reclaim it.
I mean, that sounds pretty fun, but it doesn't sound like Natural Born Killers to me.
I was 3 years old when this came out.
Wow.
So,
do you think you saw this in theaters?
Yeah. So Christian Slater, Patricia Arquette, Dennis Hopper, Val Kilmer, Gary Oldman, Brad Pitt, Christopher Walken,
Wow.
Michael
It's a shit
Rappaport,
ton of people in
Samuel L.
this.
Jackson,
Nice.
James Gandolfini.
Wow.
That's like a
I had no
fucking who's
idea James
who.
Gandolfini was in a movie like this. Wow.
Tom Sizemore. I know who that is. He's dead now. You know Tom Sizemore. You know who Tom Sizemore is?
I think so.
He plays like he's always like the dickhead in like the war. Like he was in he was in Black Hawk Down. He was in fucking
does he yell a lot?
Something about Ryan. Something about Ryan. What's the fucking war movie with Tom Hanks?
I can't. Saving Private Ryan. You got
Saving
something
Private
about
Ryan.
Ryan stuck in my head.
Yeah. But yeah, that's a lot of fucking people. Holy shit.
Well, it gets me kind of excited to watch that now.
I'm
This
highly
one,
interested.
I've never seen this one 100%, so that'll be really interesting.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure old Nickel's seen it a time or two.
I'm sure
it's probably on
we
your,
have all these.
I'll say you probably own it.
Yeah.
It was weird. I'm glad you texted me that it was streaming on Netflix because what I do is I just go to Apple TV, like the Apple TV thing, and I type it in, and if it's streaming somewhere, normally it tells you. This just said rent. It just said rent or buy, and I was like, "Fuck, this isn't streaming anywhere." So then I looked up Pulp Fiction, and it said the same thing. So I'm like, and then you text me, and I'm like, "Really?" So I went to Netflix and looked. I'm like, "Fuck yeah!" I'm like, "Cool."
That's weird that it didn't pop up. They're trying to get your money. They're like, "Hey, you want to spend a couple bucks on Quentin over here for us?" How much was it to rent?
$3.99.
Oh, that's not bad, but when you can watch it for free.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah, I was like, fuck. I'm like, thankfully he said something because I was like, I'm like, apparently I'm going to have to,
I've been spending some dough on all these.
I have to rent it. But yeah, you probably got them all on the wall.
Yeah, I think we do. I'm trying to think. Is there anything we didn't discuss about this that we should discuss about Reservoir Dogs? I mean, there's not a whole lot to it. What did you think about their boss dude that they called the Thing? That when he gets up, he goes, "What's up, Ramblers? Let's get rambling," or whatever to them.
Oh, like the old fat guy?
Yeah, their head guy, yeah.
Joe. I mean, it was funny because he reminded me of. He looks so familiar to me as well. And
oh, really?
Yeah, I looked him up, and he really wasn't in anything where I was like, "Oh yeah, I would know him from that." But
that's funny because they kept
weird.
They called him the Thing. I just kept seeing him as Michael Chiklis every time when he was there. That's all I picture him as was Michael Chiklis yelling at him.
I mean, he was pretty old in this movie.
Yeah, no, I'm sure that guy's dead. If the fucking other dude died in 2006, that old bag's dead for sure.
Well, I don't know what Chris Penn died of, but I mean, I don't think a lot of 40-year-olds just die randomly. I was looking to see, is True Romance on any streaming service? It says it's on Amazon Instant Video.
Oh, sweet.
I don't know.
We'll
see.
I'm looking up how Chris Penn died. Let's see. Chris Penn, cause of death. Cardiovascular disease. An autopsy revealed that the cause of death was a non-specific cardiovascular heart disease.
Well, that sucks.
When does this? Oh, this doesn't say the. I was trying to see. It said how old is he? Wait, what?
No, it's not. It's not streaming.
Did you know him and Sean Penn are related?
I mean, it would make sense.
Oh yeah, I guess the names. I didn't even think about that. That was such a stupid thing to say.
You're like, did you know Chris Penn and Sean Penn are related?
I didn't even look at their names. I just, wow, that guy's related to Sean Penn? That's funny. I guess he does kind of look like him, too. Wow, interesting.
Yeah, it says they're brothers. So.
Gabagool.
Wait, I don't think so. What are you talking about? It says
that's what it said on Google. Everything I read on Google's right.
Christopher Shannon Penn was born his third son of the it says Sean and Chris Penn brothers. Yeah, Christopher Sean Penn was an American actor. He was the brother of Sean Penn.
Okay.
And they have a musician brother, Michael Penn.
Michael, well, that's a lot of pens. Somebody get them like a trapper keeper. Put all.
I know who Sean Penn is because
that one People of Bam episode he was in.
No, I remember him from. I think he's in Carlito's Way.
Is that a movie?
So, yeah, it's a movie.
Oh, I don't think I've ever heard of that. I haven't seen a lot of Sean Penn stuff.
It's
I really only know the name.
Carlito's Way.
And that one Viva La Bam episode he's in.
Yeah, Carlito. Yeah, Sean Penn. It's from 1993. It's like around the same time. It's got Al Pacino and so it's a quick synopsis here is a Puerto Rican former convict just released from prison pledges to stay away from drugs and violence despite the pressure around him and lead on to a better life outside of New York City. I mean, Pacino is like, 35, 40 in this movie. So, or he might maybe a little bit older, but he's super young.
Isn't it fucking crazy that he's like having a kid soon?
Yeah, it's so weird.
Like he's like 80 years old. Him and who's the other old fucker that's having a kid? That's like
it's super weird.
I can't think of his name.
Robert De Niro.
Yeah, Robert De Niro. Yeah, they're both having fucking kids. It's so weird.
Like, and then what's his face? Bill Murray is dating Kesha from Milkshake, or we're not Kesha, but Khalees, the one who's like, my milkshake brings all the boys to the yard.
He's dating her?
He's dating Khalees, yes.
Wow, I didn't even hear about that. What the fuck?
She's like 43. He's like 79.
I was gonna say 812. Oh my god, that's
I was like,
gross.
What the fuck is this?
Yeah,
like, that's so weird.
That is so fucking disgusting.
But yeah, Carlito's Way. It's got John Leguizamo in it.
Oh, nice! I love a little John Leguizamo.
And Luis Guzman. You know Luis Guzman. You know him if you saw him.
I think so. He sounds really familiar.
He's like the dirty ass cook in Waiting.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That does like the bat wing. I think is what it's called.
He's kind of annoying in things, but sometimes I like him. He was in Shameless oh my god, I fucking hated him in Shameless. God, he was so fucking annoying in that show.
But yeah, so good times. And Sean Penn.
Have you ever been to White Castle?
Yeah, I've been to White Castle.
We're heading to White Castle tonight for dinner. I'm so fucking stoked to get some White Castle.
Pumps for White. Have you ever had it?
I've only had like the microwavable White Castles. I've never had real White Castle. Yeah.
Well, let me just tell you this: they're very similar to the frozen freezer.
It's like the same thing.
Yeah.
Well, I like that. So hopefully this is just like a little bit better.
I mean, maybe it's all dependent on To me, it's good like drunk food.
Oh, okay. Maybe I'll get on the ride there. I'll get fucking wasted.
Just get hammered on the way over, and you'll probably.
I could barely walk in, and I'll be like, "Give me some fucking burgers."
It's just fucking amazing.
But our goal, we're gonna go there, get burgers, and then we're gonna come home and watch Harold and Kumar go to White Castle. So we're gonna eat White Castle and watch it. Yeah.
I think they have like suitcases you can buy of like 30 burgers and shit.
Oh, really? I kind of want to get a suitcase.
I mean, I've never done that.
That sounds kind of fun. A suitcase of burgers?
Yeah, and it looks like a suit, it's like White Castle.
That sounds really fun.
I mean, they're tiny. I mean, they're tiny burgers.
Yeah.
You know.
No, yeah, that's what would be so fun about it. Then you could like actually throw them all down.
So it looks like, it's called the White Castle Crave Case.
Crave Case.
Yeah. I don't know how many burgers are in it. It says there are 30 sliders.
30 sliders in there. Well, maybe
30 of them.
We'll see. Maybe you'll get a picture tonight of me with a little White Castle briefcase, 30 sliders.
You're like, I got a crave kit. Yeah, because I mean, you just eat them later. Tomorrow for breakfast.
We'll see. I'll tell you if I get a briefcase or maybe they'll be out of briefcases and
I doubt
be
it.
Able to get it.
I doubt it.
I know the one we are going to. We were waiting to go to for a while. Because, for months and months and months,
it's been open
there was,
now
a
for
line.
A few years. Yeah.
So we're like, whatever, we're just not going to go. And then
it's in Scottsdale, right?
I think so, yeah. Yeah.
As far as I know, that's the only one in the state, unless there's another city. But
yeah, me too.
But yeah. Yeah, it came out, I want to say it was right before or right after COVID started.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it was like, fuck, because I grew up in the Midwest, so we had them all over, and Abby was like, "Oh," she's like, "I want to try it," and I'm like, "Well, here's the thing, we're not going
I'll bring in a Winco and I'll heat you some up in the microwave."
I'm like, "We're not gonna fucking go within the first 3 months because people were waiting an hour and a half."
Yeah, and it was lines in the cars down the road for some
White
burgers.
Castle.
And they were all getting briefcases.
Probably. They probably were.
But
So
we have 2 minutes left before we get cut off. Is there anything you want to
2
say about
minutes.
Reservoir Dogs or Quentin Tarantino that we didn't get to mention?
I don't think
Is
so.
there anything in the movie you wish that they would have added that you think would have made it better?
I mean,
Or
it
even
kind of
like
would have been
taken out? Was there stuff
cool.
that you thought like they didn't need, like you could have cut this scene out and it'd have been
I
fine?
really wish that we didn't see Tim Roth laying in blood the entire movie. That was
Or him like he was rubbing it and
so.
playing with it like forever when they were
Well,
talking.
I saw that they actually had like a paramedic on scene to make
Mm.
sure it looked realistic, and the
Oh
problem
wow.
was that it kept drying out. So they would like they were peeling Tim Roth off the floor, like
Gross.
because
Ugh.
it was like yeah. So I'm like that's so gross.
Yeah.
But I mean, other than that, no. I do wish we got like a Mr. Pink backstory because
Yeah. That would be
I mean
really
he's
interesting.
probably one of the most famous people in this movie, turned out to be at least.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, no. I mean, I enjoyed the movie. I thought it was a good movie, so I'm
Did
excited to move along and see the next.
Did you see what I sent you on Twitter about that? He said, "Don't expect Kill Bill 3 ever. His last one is going to be about this revere
When
and all
did you
that."
send that? Today?
Like an hour ago or something, like right before we
Oh,
got started or something
I
like
did
that.
not. I did
But
not
yeah,
see that.
it was like a interview with him, or maybe a clip from his podcast or something. But yeah, he's like, "No Kill Bill 3, it'll never happen." Which I was like, "Oh, that's kind of a
Which
bummer."
is which is weird because I was like looking at the things, and we get to Kill Bill and Kill Bill 2 pretty quickly on the list.
Oh, really? That's exciting.
Like they were like 2003, 2004, and I was like, holy shit, I don't remember being that long ago. It's been 20
Yeah.
years.
Is it
I
back? Is
do
it
not
back to
remember
back
that.
Kill Bill 1 and Kill Bill 2, or will there be
I
something in between?
I believe they're back to back.
Oh, that'll be really fun then.
I
I'll like
believe.
that.
Yeah, because like it's interesting. There are people. It's just like any of the other stuff, but they were saying that like there's like official lists of like in order to watch them to everything like click and make sense. And I'm
Oh.
like, damn, like that would have been interesting to do, but
Yeah, like
I'm
the
like we already
Pixar and or
yeah.
yeah. But I do like
So
going through it, like how he made it is pretty fun too.